You know, the past year we've said a lot of stuff to each other, and I feel real comfortable saying this to your face.
Pantera is Screamo.
Pantera is not Screamo. Like, people are actually going to hear this and really not want to listen to this podcast.
Joined by the man across the table for the very first episode of FightGeist Wrestling, an alternative wrestling podcast, a sports entertainment podcast, wrestling in the time of the coronavirus, for now at least. This week, I'm not joined by the man sitting across the table from me. I am joined by the man sitting across the Skype connection.
I am also in quarantine. I'm not gonna lie, it's been kind of fun.
I'm looking forward to making our first ever pay-per-view predictions. Did you know that I do impressions?
Not my fault.
I'm going to channel
Not my fault. You're a hater.
We started murdering her. We started doing this.
Hold
and
on.
that.
Keep playing the intro. Oh wait, they've only had four seasons.
I was gonna go.
Yeah, he knows a lot about wrestling. He knows a lot about indie wrestling, deathmatch wrestling. I think he's an ace. Cussing himself once again. This guy can't see possibly.
Anti-establishment.
Considering you also
Title match in the Royal Rumble, despite the fact that
instead of ordering a cheeseburger, you say like, "Hey, can I have a hamburger with cheese?"
Jack, it's been a year, and I think we've got a good thing going here.
Oh no, 5 out of 5 for attempt. So you went golfing, huh? I am Mr. Trivia, Phil. It's true.
Everyone should know I'm Mr. Predictions. Forget about my actual name. Just refer to me as Mr. Predictions because that is who I am.
I've got the moves that really move them. I send chills up.
You gotta sing, Phil.
Up
sing.
and down their spines.
Oh my god.
I think that went well. And the Slammy for FightGeist Host of the Year goes to me.
I don't believe it. It's definitely rigged.
And Phil, with arms wide open, I am accepting the trivia prize of a lifetime.
I gave you that. I mean, you should really be thanking me. Doesn't really matter in the end because we're the best, Jack. And we're the best because we're Fight Guys.
The alternative
Wrestling podcast.
I am Jack Peterson. Point, Phil. I think we need to tell a little story, like the intro said, right? We need to tell you about how we got here, because we're 51 episodes in, and we're 365 days in, and a lot of people might not know this, but Phil, if you could put this image up on the screen that I sent you earlier on the video podcast, you'll be able to see it. But we originally went by a different name. We were once going to be known as the Wrestling Clusterfuck. That was our first name. When I'm looking back at that now, a terrible idea, because for starters, having fuck in the name of your show is a dangerous line to walk. We're on the FM radio right now. We just couldn't say the name of our show, but it's also just like I don't know. I think it's an interesting name, but it's not the greatest. And you'll see if you're on the video podcast, our logo, our original logo, you can see the similarities to the current logo. I designed that as well. And it's, we went a little over the top with it. I based it off of this Joey Janela shirt I have that has like explosions and tanks going off all over it, purposely over the top. But that's what it is. We have lasers coming out of our eyes and all this. And from the chat, Sebby says, it's a great name. I hate this podcast now. It could have been so much better. Are you telling me you think the Wrestling Clusterfuck is a better name than Fight Guys? I don't know, Sebby, to each their own. But
strange.
But Phil, we started as the Wrestling Clusterfuck. I don't know if you remember this, but the way we came up with the idea to do a podcast, right, is we used to just spontaneously, after Raw would end, it was probably 2017-18, when Raw was at kind of a peak at that point, I think. I mean, obviously it still is, but it was very popular. People tend to rag on it today, but it was universally beloved. We would watch Raw, and we would go on to Instagram Live, that archaic service over there. We would go on Instagram Live, and we would just talk like we do now about what happened on Raw, and we basically recap it. And I don't know how much you remember about this, but this was kind of how we came up with the idea to do a podcast.
I don't remember that at all. I literally I have no clue what you're talking about. But that's cool if we did that.
It did happen.
I literally don't remember that at all. I go live on Instagram a lot. I don't remember going live with you.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But that's cool.
I feel hurt.
That's awesome that we did that. You know, it's something. That's something real cool. But I was showing everyone the logo. We had lasers coming out of our eyes. It's actually a really cool logo, but it never happened. This is a rough draft. This is like when a band releases unreleased songs from an album that came out like 20 years ago, and you're like, whoa, that's crazy. That's what this logo is. But yeah, we did that.
So
I don't remember.
See, the way I remember this was the influence for starting a podcast, because I do remember going on just about, I think it was every week after Raw, and we would talk to, like maybe 2 or 3 people who were in the chat.
Really?
About what happened on Raw. And yeah, I remember one of your friends, I think, coming into our chat and saying something along the lines of, I don't watch wrestling, but you guys should start a podcast. And,
That's how it started.
Yeah.
It's funny you say this, because the other day I was thinking about like how we started, and I was like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's how it started.
From what I remember, yeah, that was
shot.
I had never, I was in, I guess we were both in high school, and I was what the scientists might call a nervous Nelly, I was an anxious kid. I didn't have any social skills most of the time. And I would never consider the idea of doing a podcast or like talking and like in a medium that people would listen to and like go back to. That's probably why I never called into TWFS like you did. And, it just, the idea of isolating my voice in this thing that could be recorded forever was like the scariest thing that could possibly happen. But somebody
come back
said,
to haunt you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it probably has for you, but, it's, so somebody suggested this, and I was just like, I mean, I guess, what if we just did it and then like didn't release it and see if it was any good, and we just recorded it.
I should maybe scroll all the way up to our DMs on Instagram and see if this actually happened.
See if you can do that, and see if you can find the initial conversations about starting a podcast. Because I remember
it's definitely there.
Yeah, because I remember that the logo that we showed on the video podcast was from, I think it said on my computer that it was first created in August of 2019. So months and months before we started the podcast, obviously. And we were going to do the wrestling clusterfuck. And then I decided to go off to college in Massachusetts, small town, right? And I trained at a wrestling school, which is now like turned completely on its head, possibly gone. I'm not even sure the status, because the speaking out movement happened, and the guy who's in charge of that school is just gone because he, allegedly, sexually assaulted several of his students. So that's fun, but
allegedly
didn't happen. No, he was the biggest prick I've met in my life, so he definitely did. But
nice.
Yeah, so I went there for a few months, and during that time, and now this might seem interesting for people who people who have listened to us for a long time, but the roles were very much reversed, Phil, because I remember, and you might see this in the DMs, I remember you consistently bugging me that we should do an episode, that we should start the podcast. And while I was at school, I remember buying a really shitty mic, which I've since lost, and being like, yeah, let's do it. But then I was just never motivated or never had the time or whatever. And every once in a while you would text me and just be like, we should tape this episode. We should do it. And
really,
so
I really want to scroll up because I don't remember any of this.
You go back to,
it's very strange how I don't remember this.
I don't know how you remember none of this, but go back to like the summer or fall of 2019, because it was like, we were like gonna do it, but we like had no idea how to start doing it. And you seem to care more about than I did about it, which is, interesting, because now these days I can't get you to show up to one episode, but
interesting.
So, but then I started doing a show on the radio, the college radio, where I did a music show and hosted. It was called Between a Rock and a Punk Place, right? and it's still, the Instagram is still up somewhere. You can find it, but I get so many notifications from them from like, you might want to follow this person, and I don't. I should just deactivate it. But I hosted this for a little while, and that was the first time I'd ever talked into a microphone, and it scared me because I talked into a microphone and I could hear my voice in my headphones like I can right now, and I was like, oh my god, that's what I sound like, and never wanted to do it again. So I like kept putting off the podcast, and you kept being like, let's do it. And well, then when I got back to the city, because that school sucked, I came back and we actually did it, and we actually went into the studio, and in our first episode we recorded at the BMCC studio. They have a podcast studio.
I remember
deal.
that.
Yeah, you remember that day?
I couldn't get in because I had a library book that I never returned.
Yeah. And I remember we were delayed a few weeks on that too. We wanted to do it earlier. I think our first episode, what really made me think like we should do a podcast because I want to rant or something, was Goldberg like beating the Fiend, and I was like, this is perfect. This is our first episode. We should rant about this for an hour, you know. And then we ended up like, I don't know, maybe it was because of the library book, maybe it was for some other reason, didn't do it for another couple of weeks, and ended up starting, you know, with the X-Pac segment. We started with our top 5 wrestlers, and it went really well, much better than I was expecting. I mean, I still like that episode when I go back. It's a little bit cringeworthy, but I go back to it. I still enjoy it. And
I think I listened to it once.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I never listen to anything that we do. I just want everyone to know that.
No, I know
only
you don't.
Only time I was listening to some of it was when we were building our what do you call it? The best of.
Right.
When I was trying to find certain things with the best of, I was listening back to it, and I was like, hey, this isn't a bad podcast. But yeah, I never really listened back to anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth a shot because I know it's like, yeah, it is kind of cringeworthy to hear your own voice for an hour. It can be cringeworthy, but I think it's worth it because it helps you like improve, right. You know? Like, I've listened back so many times to episodes and I've been like, wow, that was a really dumb thing I said, or like, that was a really bad joke. Sometimes I make intentionally bad jokes, but like that was a legitimately bad joke, and I should, you know, definitely not say anything like that again. The first episode, there were a few instances of that, but listening.
Oh yeah,
back,
I definitely had that, and I know I did it, and that's why I don't listen back. Like anything, I don't look at anything that I do. Only thing that I actually look at is like me wrestling. That's the only thing I'm actually like, I actually want to see this, and I'm really interested in seeing how I did. But besides that, I don't want to look at anything that I do. Yeah, that first day we did the podcast, that was like one of the last days of like normal life.
Yeah.
I remember after the podcast, Nikolai White, who wrestles in Violence and Suffering, he's been wrestling there lately. I remember just randomly running into him. And it was just so random. Like, I was walking to the bus, and my hair was all in my face because it was like windy out. And it was like a big street, and I'm standing there, and he just literally jumps in front of me and says, "What's up?" And I was like, "Well, what? Who the hell is this?" And then it was him, and I was like, "Oh, what's up?" And that was like one of the last days that I was actually outside.
Right. Right.
Like, well, not really, but like, you know, normal, like before COVID. Yeah. It was like one of the last days that I was like outside, which is pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure earlier that day we had heard like the news that like colleges were closed for 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, they were closed for a little while. And then like later that day, I remember going home after we taped the podcast, and they were like, actually, they're closed for the whole semester. And then the next day, all schools, like including my sister's high school, and like everything is closed, you know, and it shut down just like that. We did this podcast. I was proud of it. I remember I listened back to it on the train on the way home. And I was like, you know, this is better than I thought it could be, you know? I never had any confidence that I could do a podcast that would be at all listenable. And it's not good I feel like we're better now. I don't know. But
maybe.
I hope so.
I think we got worse.
You think we got worse?
Maybe. Well, I got better. I think you got worse.
Oh yeah. No, actually, honestly, you're probably right. But it was a tough transition to like try to figure out, not just technologically, because it took forever for us to figure out how to do like the Skype recording and do, you know, online version of the show. We really didn't want to. We were resistant to do it, but
I don't ever want to go back to those days of trying to figure out how this streaming stuff works. That was literally the worst thing ever. This recording Skype, like, it's so annoying when you don't know what you're doing.
And then we had to transition to Twitch too, which was like a whole nother thing. Like you sort of knew how to do it, but then I had to stream it from my end, and we had to do the layouts, and it was just like, I remember having an episode, I think it was like around episode 10 or something like that, where I just got so pissed off and just like was like, yeah, we're not doing the episode today. I think we ended up doing it anyway, but I remember just being like, this is it, I'm done.
Nice.
Because it just, you can't, it's, that stuff is so hard to figure out when you're new to it, and I mean, at least now I think we're closer to good at it. We are joined by Coyote, listener of the year, Coyote Omega, TJ Hicks. First of all, Coyote, I want to ask you a question that I was going to get to in a minute. What is your favorite FightGeist memory?
My favorite FightGeist memory has to be all the times where we argued if Pantera was a screamo band or not.
Right, and my favorite memory is definitely when we've established that I'm right and that they are in fact one. But yeah, that's a solid one, Coyote. That's a solid one. So Coyote was meant to be in the trivia tournament that was supposed to happen. And Coyote, I understand you had a tragedy, a family tragedy you had to pull out last minute. Coyote, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope it's all, is it better now? Is it worked out?
Yeah, it's better. Even though I still do miss that family member, I am feeling better.
Was it somebody you were close with?
Not really, but he was still family.
Yeah. What was it, an uncle or grandpa?
Uncle.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that sucks. Well, Coyote, I'm sorry to hear that, but you got anything else on your mind about the anniversary, about anything else before we let you go?
I just wanted to say happy anniversary to y'all, and
Here it comes.
Pantera's not screamo, Baba Booey, Howard Stern's penis, Baba Booey, and Fafa Fooey.
Fafa Fooey right back at you.
It's the Grinch
Gaga
song,
Booey.
right? Isn't that the thing from the Grinch? They sang that song, fa fa fooey, and then Christmas comes back?
No.
Oh, shit. Well, Coyote preaching lies, as he tends to do with, the whole Pantera debate, but Coyote much appreciated. He, listener of the year, one of our most valuable listeners. He has a physical award in his home that I mailed to him for being listener of the year, which, by the way,
address, huh?
What?
You have his address?
He did send me his address, and I mailed him the award, which, Phil, you still have not done, and so I still own your 2 awards. They're in my desk right now. But
yeah,
regardless,
I gotta give you a real address.
If you want to call in and tell us your favorite FightGeist moment, then the phone lines are open. We are joined by Scuba Steve. What's up, Scuba Steve?
This is Ace of Spades card.
Oh, no way. Okay, Ace, what's up?
Oh wow.
Hey, I had to come in and do a little call in and say, you know what? I appreciate you guys. 50 episodes, 1 year. That's impressive. Super impressive. Super dope. Inferior podcast. But I'm really happy that y'all.
Wait, what was that?
Repeat that last part.
Things and keeping it steady for 51 episodes now.
I feel like I heard something, but I don't know.
I heard something mumbled that sounded almost like an insult, maybe a veiled insult, maybe not so veiled.
I didn't hear nothing but praise.
Nothing but really? Are you sure about that? I mean, you might want to enunciate a little bit more with the. There was something there.
It was all praise.
All right. I believe you,
Okay.
Ace, thank you so much, and I got to say I appreciate everything Quick Pop has done for us with promotion as well. I'll have you know, I don't know if I've told you this, but when the episodes that we've been on of your show, we as soon as those episodes were published, we saw a huge spike in downloads. So I don't know what your audience is doing, but they're loving us, and I want to thank you for being part of our trivia tournament in a way, and Jake for losing and just being under my boot as I squashed him into the ground. But Ace, thank you.
Thank you, Ace.
All right. Now look, we're trying to have a nice party here. We don't need your negativity in here, okay?
Right.
So, but no, for real. Congratulations on 1 year. Looking forward to year 2. Looking forward to having you on ours upcoming. I'm not going to get into it because it's your day. But yeah, just I don't know. Y'all keep on keeping on.
Well, thank you, Ace.
Thank you, Ace.
Appreciate it. We would love to come on anytime, and you are welcome on to call in about anything you would like, Ace. So Ace, thank you for your call.
No problem. Randy Orton sucks. Bye.
What?
Oh, wow.
Okay, he's getting banned
That
from the
one
chat
wasn't
again.
funny though. That one wasn't like the one that Coyote, that was really funny and
No,
humorous.
it
but
wasn't.
The one that Ace said, it wasn't really anything. It was really just like uncalled for. It's kind of sad, really. I kind of don't even want to like have anything to do with this guy or Quick Pop or whatever you call it. But
hey, Quick Pop, more like shit slop. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's a pretty good one. Phil,
trying to ruin our day. You believe this?
I know he's just shitting on our party, shitting in our cake. And Phil, the calls just keep coming in because we're joined by Pat from Boulevard Bullies. Pat, what's up?
Hello, how are you? I just wanted to wish you guys a happy 51st episode. 51 episodes in 52 weeks. Quite impressive.
Thank you. There was a week off in there. This happens, but yeah, we appreciate it. 51 episodes. It's a big number, Pat. Can you stay the same? Do you have 51 podcast episodes? I don't think so.
Podcasts? No.
I think he has 51 videos on the Boulevard Bullies YouTube channel.
Probably true.
I want to just say that you guys are exactly like wrestling, because at first, when I first discovered wrestling, I loved it so much.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now, as time went on, I realized that I actually fucking hated wrestling.
Wait, hold on.
That's pretty much how I feel about this show.
Is this because, okay, so Pat, is this because you lost last week and you're bitter about it, or is there something else going on here?
I think he's just not getting enough subscribers and he's cranky.
Oh, could be a problem.
Don't you worry about my subscribers. But yeah, so every week when I tune into wrestling, I'm reminded that I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And every time I tune into this show, I'm reminded that I hate wrestling. So I just want to thank you guys so much. Also, Phil, my favorite memory is when you ditched the show to come play golf with us, and it is getting a little warmer. Getting a little warmer.
Don't remind him.
So I look forward to, maybe getting half as many episodes done in the next year because of so many golf outings in this company.
100%. 51 episodes in 52 weeks. It's going to be more like 20 episodes in 52 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because of the golfing.
Yeah, only because of the golfing.
Yeah, but that's by far my favorite moment. And also, the Wayne's World hat is a classic for me. And I love the cane mask as well.
The cane mask, yeah, the Halloween special. That's true. The
Halloween cane mask is one of my all-time favorites. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And also just want to let everybody know that the Boulevard Bullies merch is still only $10. We're down to like the last 3 or 4 shirts. So, warehouse clear out. Just make sure you get that $10 order in before you spend any money on FightGeist. All right, thank you so much. Love you guys.
All right. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
So I guess this is his ongoing bit, Phil, is that he's going to come in every single week. He's going to call in and he's going to just plug his merch and leave. And Phil, honestly, I feel like it's our special day. It's our our birthday, and we just got shit on. And I don't know. This is not what I was expecting by opening the phone lines.
I don't know. I'm happy. I got reminded that the weather is getting better, and golf outings are gonna happen again. So
yeah,
hey, I'm happy.
That's the worst FightGeist moment, undisputed for me at least. It's not a positive memory for myself, Phil. I think there's definitely some PTSD involved there, and I'm scared about what happens when those links are open, especially when COVID's gone and those links are fully open, and you can just leave anytime you want and just go play golf, go lose at golf, whatever you want to do. But from the chat, something came up, Daddy-O. T-shirts. Pat, just you wait. There's something coming. Yeah, believe me. Sebby, we are joined by Sebby. I don't know why I'm telling Sebby that he is joining us, but Sebby, we are joined by you. And Sebby, what's your favorite FightGeist memory?
My favorite FightGeist memory is you uploading a video asking whether or not Matt Hardy faked his concussion and then getting heat on Reddit for it.
That is a classic. That was our Bobby Heenan moment in a way.
That was.
Yeah, I mean, not as extreme, but, I still believe that Matt Hardy faked his concussion, and I think the people on r/squared circle are just deluded if they believe otherwise.
Well, they are deluded, but I'm not sure about that case. And by the way, I heard that, people were joining all of a sudden on these calls to shit talk all you, and I was just wondering, why haven't I joined yet,
Well, maybe, Sebby, because you had nothing bad to say about us.
The trivia tournament?
Yeah, didn't you?
Didn't I beat you, Phil?
All right, continue.
You will. All right, that's true. I like seeing Phil get put in his place, but you didn't beat me, Sebby. You didn't. I destroyed you with a very specific number question. You got to go back to the episode and listen to it, but it was, it was a glorious victory. Still, Mr. Trivia and Sebby. I am one day awaiting that rematch. I know you have some complaints about the way that we scored and the way that we the buzzers worked and stuff like that, but Sebby, ultimately you lost.
Yeah, well, I might have gotten on the buzzer faster if it wasn't for the lag that was protruded by Manga Tuesday in the buzzer call. So I don't know how that was going on. I don't know, whether or not there was a feature on, whether or not there's a direct message feature on Twitch. I doubt it, but who knows?
There is actually, and I haven't seen. Whispers. I haven't seen Phil's direct messages, his history exactly. But Sebby, I'm surprised you don't know about that because I have good authority. I have a good authority that you were sending the code to lots of different people, and that you were responsible for the way that kind of devolved. So Sebby, I don't think you should be complaining.
On winning, that's the thing.
So were you doing that to sabotage me?
No, because then that would end up backfiring on me anyways. Why would I do that?
I mean, you probably didn't think it would backfire you at the time.
No, if there's anybody who would have done it, it would have been an outside source. Somebody who, wasn't in the match.
That's true.
I think my goal here is just to stir up confrontation between you two guys, so I'm just going to let that happen.
And what happens organically, Sebby. It was going to happen regardless. But Sebby, thank you. The trivia tournament loser, do you have any final thoughts before we let you go?
Young Bucks don't suck. Stop denying it.
Thank you, Sebby.
Young Bucks bottom 5. We're going to get to our top 5 in just a little bit of right now, but the Young Bucks, if we were doing a bottom 5, would be probably 1 and 2. I'm thinking maybe 1 and 3.
Nope, not at all. Wrong.
Well, we'll get to this, Phil, because Phil, look, we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary. We are talking about the fact that we have been around for 365 days. We've heard from Coyote, we've heard from Ace, we've heard from Pat, we've heard from Sebby. We have heard, was there anybody else? Was somebody else call in? I don't remember. And we have heard from us. And I guess Phil, I don't know. We've been around for a year, and I am going to take this call as well because I'm getting a call on my personal cell phone, and this same number has been calling me multiple times over and over again. So I have a feeling they want to tell us about their FightGeist memory. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Hey, you're on the air. What is your favorite FightGeist memory?
That's right, Bubba. I'll tell you now, I'm a Sheik, former world champion. My favorite FightGeist episode moment is when Phil fuck up trivia.
Well, Iron Sheik, that's also my favorite FightGeist moments. That's such a coincidence. Hey, Sheik, when are you coming on the show to, make Phil humble, break his back maybe?
That's right, Bubba. I'll take you to camel clutch, break your back, fuck you in the ass, and make you humble.
Wow. So Iron Sheik Phil is coming for you. Sheik, how do you feel about Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan, that you brony. He's worse than a Michael Jackson.
Worse than Michael Jackson? So, Iron Sheik, it's such a privilege to have you on this show. Can we just get you to say, okay, we have a lot of wrestlers do this. Can we get you to say, this is the Iron Sheik, and you're listening to FightGeist?
That's right, Bubba. There's Iron Sheik, baby, former world champion, and you're listening to the FightGeist Wrestling.
Thank you so much, Sheik. Thank you for your call. Any final thoughts before you go?
Oh, the fucking Hulk Hogan and the Vince McMahon. Oh, I don't break Hulk Hogan's leg out of respect for Mr. McMahon, Mr. Gagne, and baby Jesus.
Wow. Sheik, thank you so much. Have a good one.
Good night, Bubba.
Phil, I got to be totally honest with you. I have no idea who that was.
Oh, really? You don't know?
I did not orchestrate that at all. I don't know who that was.
Oh, so Iron Sheik just has your phone number?
I don't know who it is. If it's somebody trolling me, if it's Pat or it was a Pennsylvania phone number. So if it was Sebby or Pat or somebody, then I don't know how they got my phone number because I don't think any of them have it. So dude, I don't know. So it must be the real Iron Sheik. Also don't know how he got my phone number. I didn't know he lived in Pennsylvania either. So I don't know what's happening. From the chat, Sebby is sending Jack's number around. So a lot of numbers going around at Sebby's fingertips. And you know, I'm very interested to see what happens next with all those numbers, Sebby. Hey, Sebby, why don't you try sending, I don't know, your credit card number around, your social security number. See where that gets you. Anyway, Phil, we have a lot to get to today. This is our 1-year anniversary special, and we're taking more calls at any time. You know, if anybody else wants to call in and talk about their favorite FightGeist memory, that is absolutely encouraged. But right now, we got to get on to more stuff because we have more things to talk about. And a lot of people have already mentioned in their calls the trivia special that took place last week. I won the tournament, as you know, if you've heard the episode or you've seen the video podcast, available on all platforms, available on YouTube, you know, in great, wonderful video. And it was a long episode. We were streaming for a long time, Phil. We had 7 people step into the trivia arena. We had a big trivia tournament. We had myself defending my title. We had you. We had Sebby, right? We had Pat. We had Bald Steve. We had Jomo. And we also had Jake from the Quick Pop podcast. So all these people all tried to come in here and try to win the title. And from the chat, what happened is I finally achieved the goal of winning the contest I put together. Yes, Pat, exactly. And I did win. I destroyed 3 people in a row. I beat Jake. I beat Pat in the second round. And then I also beat Sebby. So sorry for the spoiler if you didn't hear it.
Destroy Sebby. I mean, it was by 1 point, similar to my match with Sebby, but, you know.
Yeah. No, you're actually right. It was a lot closer than I expected because I was beating him. I think it was like 9-5 or something like that was the score. And then he all of a sudden started coming up from behind. He got like 3 points in a row or something like that.
I actually have the scores right here.
Oh, do you now? Okay.
Actually, yeah, they're written over here somewhere. I know it's on this notebook that I have because I don't want you to lie. I don't want you to sit there and lie. Here we go. Pat had 7, so it wasn't a complete murder.
It wasn't.
I just want to point these things out.
Because you gave him all these ECW questions.
And you and Sebby, it was. It doesn't matter. I mean, come on. He didn't get the Tournament of Death. Question,
true.
Right?
But you wanted him to.
None of that matters.
You wanted him to. That was supposed to be his question.
You versus Sebby, it was 10-9. You versus Pat, it was 10-7.
Right.
You versus Jake, we don't have to get into, but.
Oh, we can get into that. It was 10-3. It was a slaughter, and I beat him worse than he beat Ace. Actually, I don't think that's necessarily true, but I would have if we kept going. But yeah, you know, Sebby, I'll give him credit because he actually literally, you know, he came the closest of anybody in the tournament, you know, to winning who didn't win. You know, it was the closest match of all of them in the finals, as it should be. We didn't expect it to, you know, I was running away with it for a minute there, then he came back, and for a minute there I was terrified. I thought I was going to lose. I really thought I was going to lose that title, and I did not know what to do, where to go next. But Phil, it didn't happen. I didn't have to come to that. I didn't have to worry.
Yeah. What was the question? I'm trying to remember the question. There was something about Edge, and it was 31.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was how many titles he won.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. How many titles? You won the game. You know, it's real crazy because first of all, Pat lost his match with Jack with the Tournament of Death question, and I lost my match with a Randy Orton and Edge question, which are both 2 things that define us as human beings, and we lost to the questions that we love. And then Jack won with the question of how many titles has Edge won, and he somehow, some way got the correct answer. 31. I don't know how. I really don't know how.
Honestly, I think I said this at the time. I remember reading that. I don't know how I remembered it, but I remember reading that in a WWE magazine when I was a kid, that he had won 31 titles. And for whatever reason, that stuck in my mind. I guess I was thinking like, oh, that's a lot. Edge is my favorite wrestler at the time. Like, oh, wow, he's had that many titles. So it, like, for whatever reason, stuck. And you know what? Like, if I knew 10 years ago or however many it was that would win me a trivia tournament, I think I would remember everything in the WWE magazine. But Phil, we are joined by No Caller ID. No Caller ID, what is your favorite FightGeist memory?
I can't remember.
Well, who is this?
This is Mankind.
Mankind, are you okay? Are you in the boiler room right now?
I'm right now in the boiler room with my friend.
Which friend?
My friend, the Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik is in there with you? How'd that happen?
He came over for a party.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense. Is he on the line right now?
No.
Oh, just you. What's the state of Iron Sheik? Is he conscious?
The Iron Sheik is very conscious. I believe at this particular point in time, he's making some guy named Phil humble.
He is, as he should. Mankind, what did you think about my victory last week at the trivia tournament?
I believe that was flawed. And I believe that Boulevard Bully Pat was the real winner. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day, Mankind. And as he hangs up, and Phil, I am starting to believe that I know who was on the line just now. I was under the belief that Iron Sheik was being played by Pat, and then I got a notification on my phone that Boulevard Bullies went live on Twitch. So I don't know how he could be calling me and going live at the same time.
It's Mikey Whipwreck.
You think it's Mikey Whipwreck?
I know it's Mikey Whipwreck.
See, those are some really good impressions. I will say this. And well, actually, what am I saying?
That's probably like what he did in the locker room. Probably just sat there doing impressions all day.
Oh yeah, like Owen Hart, right? Like that's the whole thing. Yeah. I'd like to hear an Owen Hart impression. Actually, I got an Owen Hart impression, Phil. You know how I did that Stone Cold impression that everybody loved?
Yeah.
All right, I got an Owen Hart impression. Okay, ready? All right. This is it. How's that? Is that good?
No.
Is that no? Do you get it?
I didn't like it. I didn't find it too funny.
Actually, wait. I got. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more accurate here if I go. The impression more like this. Okay. This is Owen Hart. This is Owen Hart, right? Okay.
Oh, that one was spot on. That one was really good.
Oh, really? Yeah, he was spot on the turnbuckle.
Can you
Phil,
do Bobby Heenan?
We're getting. It's a whole other issue. We're getting another call, Phil.
Okay.
We are joined by no caller ID once again. Who is this? Is this Mankind?
Please fucking tell me you did not just do an Owen Hart joke.
See?
Oh, this is Mikey Whipwreck.
Horrible taste.
Was it in horrible taste?
Dude, that's fucking terrible.
Oh, well, I apologize, Mikey. I feel like everybody's made an Owen Hart joke at this point, though.
Yeah, but it's shitty.
Wait, what?
Right, it was so bad.
But it's fucking shitty.
All right, well, okay, you're right. It's
like
shitty.
if he offed himself, all right, well, I guess all bets are off. But the poor motherfucker fell from the fucking ceiling.
That's true. That's true.
That's pretty fucked. I think that's in poor taste. And coming from me, who is the epitome of fucking poor taste, that's fucking saying something.
Who would you make a joke about?
Nobody.
Nobody? All right.
I'm a very straight-laced person. I have no sense of humor.
Oh, fair. Yeah. No.
And I'm fucking cranky.
All right. Well, Mikey, I apologize. It was in poor taste. You're right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a nice day.
I knew it was Mikey Whipwreck.
Just got a phone call from Mikey Whipwreck.
The line that he said.
Yeah.
During the Mankind thing, I was like, oh yeah, that's Mikey.
You're right, actually, but I am shocked right now because I just got
shaking. Your hands are shaking. Oh my god.
My hands are shaking. I just got a phone call from an ECW champion to tell me that I should take a joke back that I made. And
you understand you can't wrestle in the tri-state area anymore, right?
Oh, did I get blacklisted from that? Oh shit, you're right. Mm-hmm. Maybe I deserved it, Phil. I think I deserved it. I take it back. But Phil, the point here, from the chat, Juice Bash says to be the closest to not winning, like Sebby was. Just makes someone a bigger loser, in my opinion. Better to just get railroaded and then to be finished on your knees. Juice, hey, I'm finishing on. How do I end this? Hey, Sebby's on his knees. I finished and then railroaded him. But Phil, the point right now is that I am still Mr. Trivia. It's true. It's damn true, in fact. And I guess, Phil, at this point, I have to make an announcement, okay? I have to make...
Why would you be on your knees?
Why would I... because... So if I'm on my knee... Oh, no, you're right. Okay, so I'm not on my knees. I'm standing. So Sebby's on his knees. I am the one finishing, right?
Forget it. Just go to the announcement.
All right. The announcement, Phil, is that like I said before the show, like I said before trivia last week, I am sick and tired of not having competition to step up to me. And I am more than willing to defend my title against anybody. It could even be you, Phil, because what I'm here today to do is declare an open challenge for my trivia championship.
Cena style.
Cena style, exactly. Cody Rhodes style, even. I will defend this title against anybody who wants to. This could be somebody who is in the tournament. This could be somebody who has never competed for any trivia in any trivia capacity on the show.
I hope Zack Ryder shows up.
Zack Ryder shows up? Yeah, I will be terrified.
He answers the open challenge. He always answers them. He has to show up to this one.
And he always loses them, so I'm okay with that. Ace in the chat says, I'll fight you. It could be Ace, because he didn't even make it to the tournament, right? He didn't qualify, so I'm fine with these challenges.
Didn't even make it to the tournament. Oh, my God. And you know what? Hold on. I just want to point this out about Ace.
Yeah.
Jack beat Jake 10-3.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake beat Ace, 10-1.
12-2 even. Yeah.
12-2. So, I mean, that's just, I don't know. I think you need to, train or something. Because that's bad. You get beat by the guy that got beat in the first round, that got slaughtered in the first round. You get slaughtered by him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Phil, I'll remind you that you've been slaughtered by me in the past as well.
Nope.
Bad buzzer?
Not true.
I do appreciate you standing up for me in this case because you're right. I will destroy Ace if that happens, but I actually would like to face Ace. I would like to see what would happen. And I'm fine if he's given softball questions as well. I think I can
fight a jobber. Fight me.
I'll fight you, Phil, but here's the rules, okay? This open challenge is declared to anybody, okay? It's anybody in the chat right now. Anybody listening to this podcast, and it doesn't matter when it is. It could be, months from now if you want. But if you would like to challenge me for the Trivia Championship, all that you have to do is you have to send in a promo. You have to, just like the people did before the show, before the episode 50, send in a promo, audio or video of yourself, telling me how you're going to destroy me, saying whatever you want about how you're coming for that title, and you just have to record that shit. And you can either DM it to us, FightGeist Wrestling on Instagram, FightGeist Pod on Twitter, I am AjaxLP on Instagram, whatever you want. Or, of course, the preferable method is FightGeistWrestling@gmail.com. If you email that audio or that video to us, we will play it on the show, and the following week after we play it, we will have a trivia contest, myself defending my title against you. It can be you right now. Yeah, you're listening. I know you're listening. I know you're thinking you want to put me in my place, right? I made a terrible Owen Hart joke. You want to put me in my place. So you can. Send in a promo, and you get that opportunity. That's how it's going to work, Phil.
Apparently Ace is really ready for this, and he's apparently he's a promo guy.
Oh, is he now?
Yeah, I think you might have to clap back with another promo. If his promo is as good as he's making it seem. It's scary.
I will say Jake's promo on me was really good, and so I think that if What
about Sebby's promo with Randy Orton towel?
With the Randy Orton towel, I love that. Yeah, knocking over things in his bathroom, leaning on the towel rack. Yeah, no, it was great. But the people on the Quick Pop podcast. He did lose. The people in the Quick Pop podcast are clearly very good at cutting promos. So, Ace, I would love to hear the promo. If you just send that over to me, we can promote this trivia contest. I'm just going to warn you, it's not going to end well for you. But, Phil, the open challenge is live, and you can take it, but you have to follow the same rules as anybody else, Phil. You would have to send in a promo as well.
All right.
So.
Sounds good.
The gates are open.
What if I cut a promo right now? And we do this right now?
Okay, I'd have to have a week to prepare. Okay,
look, you're scared.
No, look, it's not that I'm scared. It's not about that. It's not. No.
So much for an open challenge, huh?
It's an open challenge, Phil. But I just I don't want to do it right now. It's we got a lot to get to in the episode. It's our 1 year anniversary. It's supposed to be camaraderie.
Yeah.
I don't feel it right. It doesn't need to happen right now.
He's not a defending champion, but okay.
Well,
it's fine.
If anything, Phil, you'd be hurting the audience because they're gonna have to sit through another 6-hour show, and they don't want to do that, So it's, we don't need this right now, Phil. I'm just saying, they don't want to see it. You've lost too many times. Do I need more excuses? I could come up with more excuses. Phil, the floodgates are open, and if you want to challenge me, it is FightGeistWrestling@gmail.com. Send your promo, and you will get a shot to become
Trivia.
Turn up the trouble till it gets real loud. I feel so much better that way.
When I win, I'm recording that with my voice.
I actually really want to hear that. I kind of hope you win now. You know, record it anyway, regardless. I want to hear this. But Phil, we want to talk about right now. What we want to talk about is we want to update our top 5 wrestlers of right now, because it's been a while since we've actually done our current top 5s. We did like a top 10 of the year, right, for 2020. But it's been, I think, like probably 5 or 6 months at this point since we've actually concretely updated who our current top 5 wrestlers are, and we're going to do that right now, Phil. And I guess without further ado, let's start. I mean, do you have any honorable mentions who you think should be mentioned?
Oh, I have so many honorable mentions that I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah?
I mean, dude, everyone from like Jungle Boy to Seth Rollins to Daniel Bryan.
Who?
You know? Daniel Bryan.
I don't know that person.
All right, Christian Cage, you know who that is?
No. I know
Sting.
Christian. Oh, from the Police, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
All
think
those
he's
people.
doing music anymore.
No, but like I didn't even want to write my honorable mentions because I already knew it would be. I already know it would be too much. I mean, of course, Jericho, Sammy Guevara. I mean, there's tons of people that I'm missing, but I just wanna get to my top 5 because it's like, you know, we've done this before, and I can sit here for hours talking about my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
So I won't do that. I won't do that. That's how I'm changing for our 1-year anniversary.
Beautiful. We're gonna keep it concise in this next year, hopefully. We'll give that a shot. First of all, from the chat, Josh Alexander, Alex Hammerstone, Juice Bash. I don't know what language you're speaking. Is that Latin, maybe? I've never heard those names in my life. Hey, I got your hammer stone. Your Hammerstone, right?
Shout out to Bobby Lashley,
right here,
our WWE World Champion. Shout out to Bobby Lashley.
Fuck Bobby
I love
Lashley.
Bobby Lashley so much.
I hate that person.
Wow.
We're going to get to that later, though, because I have more things to say about Bobby Lashley that will tie into my list. But look, Phil, I want to say, first of all, if we were doing,
weird guy.
I could do a bottom 5 right now if we wanted to. Bobby Lashley might be on it. Who would definitely be on it? Shane McMahon. We could spend a whole other segment on his terrible promo this week on Braun Strowman, but we're not going to. LA Knight from NXT, formerly known as Eli Drake, has become a cringeworthy parody of himself, and we could talk about those people, but we're not doing bottom 5s right now. So I got to talk about people I like. So, Phil, first of all, the honorable mentions, I have to mention Kota Ibushi. He's been having great matches recently. Hikaru Shida had an incredible match at Revolution. Love that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Had such low expectations because I really did not know the other person she was fighting, but...
Oh, really? I wanted her to win.
Why?
It would have been interesting. But, I mean, she wasn't going to win.
Right. I got to mention...
Champion. It's like you. The champion won the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. Edge, Roman Reigns, definitely good picks. I really am excited for that match. Darby Allin is definitely an honorable mention.
Definitely.
That cinematic match, specifically his... it was a good match, you know, but his spots were really what made it very solid.
I love the match a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I did love it, but I think that the best parts were easily just whatever Darby Allin was doing when he was going through the glass, when he was coming off the thing with the elbow, and he broke and literally collapsed and they fell through the hole. It was a whole thing.
God, it's so crazy.
But Phil, today it's about our top 5 ranked. Actually, one more honorable mention. Phil, do you know Mai Saruga?
No.
You heard of Mai Saruga, Phil? I was watching the AEW women's tournament, right? And she happened to get eliminated in the first round. But Phil, I can't say anything else besides I am in love with her because Mai Saruga, I've never heard of this person in my life, but I believe she's, I don't know, perfect woman maybe?
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So I think you got to check this out.
Statements.
She not only was having incredible matches too in the tournament, even though apparently she's one of the least experienced in the tournament, she was actually having really great matches. But dude, I don't know who any of these people are in this tournament, but only one stood out to me. Only one was reflected in my eyes, and that was Mai Saruga. So let me just say that's an honorable mention. But
hey, I have 2 more honorable mentions.
Okay.
Max Caster, I have to put him up there.
Fuck you. No.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry, but his rapping has been top notch.
Why is that what you're going with? He took a crazy bump on a ladder. I respect that. What, you're going with the rapping?
The rapping is top notch. He says some things that I wouldn't think that they would let it fly, but he says it, and it's very funny. It's very great. And yeah, those ladder bumps are cool. But another one, just like you with the tournament,
right?
Last night, Maki Ito fought
Oh no! Really?
in AEW, and I had no clue who this is. No clue. But she came out singing, and she kept singing. She made sure to finish her song even though everyone was still fighting, and do a real funny microphone head bump. She just gave I forgot who it was. I think it was Big or someone. But she hit him with the microphone, and it was like real bad, but it was so good. And she was pretty good. And she was pretty great in the ring. And apparently she was I think this is what they said on commentary, that she was a pop star in a pop band.
Right.
And she was kicked out because she was the least popular, and then she became a pro wrestler. And she might be my new favorite wrestler. Yeah. So we both discovered two new people.
Yeah.
But let's get to the top 5 now.
All right. So my number five is a guy who had, I guess, a match that was pretty controversial this weekend, mostly because of the finish, right? Which I personally loved. But the match was basically dominated, or like the most memorable moments of this match that happened at Revolution was the stuff that was done by Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley has to come in at my number 5 because he was specifically, really the thing that's coming in my mind is when he essentially kicked out of the one-winged angel by putting his foot on the rope and causing the explosion to go into Kenny's face. That was a beautiful counter. Right. One of the better deathmatch spots I've ever seen, I think. Because it's very creative, and considering nobody's kicked out of that move in AEW, like it's a great way to like sort of kick out of it, not kick out of it. Great visual. And Jon Moxley was beautiful this past weekend. The images that came from that match of it, the blood going down his face, the exploding bat hitting him right in the dome, will stick with me probably for a while, Phil. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of people seem to disagree with me in the chat. People are disagreeing with me, but I loved that match. I did not mind the finish, and I love Jon Moxley.
Yeah, I was scared that people were going to forget about the match and just focus on the finish. But it seems like Kenny Omega did it on purpose. At least that's the way they made it seem on AEW. And honestly, I can't help but believe it almost. Because, I mean, even if there was an explosion, why would there be sparklers?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
My favorite part was how they made the little pew sound, they sounded like they were legitimately supposed to sound as bad as possible. And that's what's funny. That's what I like.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Kenny, I mean, don't get me wrong. I was really ready for that explosion.
Yeah.
I was ready for death. But after watching AEW this past week, which unfortunately I can't get into too much because Jack hasn't seen it.
Right.
But I'm gonna be a good friend and not spoil it for him, because a lot happened on the March 10th, 2021 episode of AEW Dynamite.
Does it go up there with those Raws?
I'd say it does.
Oh, okay.
I actually would say it does.
Damn.
I'd say it's a really important episode of Dynamite, and it's like, wow, like a lot happened. And you get to see Maki. It's great.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
Well, I'll only watch it if Mace Ruga is on the show. But Phil, I got to know your number 5.
All right, my number 6 is The Miz.
You can't have a number 6.
I was like, okay, should it be Miz or Jon Moxley? Miz or Jon Moxley? I really love The Miz. His promos have been great. Promos have been top notch. Matches have been great. But I don't know. After that barbed wire match with Kenny Omega, got to put Jon Moxley at number 5 as well.
Oh, okay, all right.
Such a good match. Like I was so ready for the match, and the match was beautiful. It was like perfect. And then the ending was messed up, but it was all part of Kenny Omega's beautiful plan, which makes it even better.
From the chat, Sebby says, "Don't defend that shit, Phil. They turned chicken shit into chicken salad, but it could have been a chicken dinner." Sebby, chicken dinner and chicken salad are both foods, so I feel like there's not that much of a difference between them. Is dinner like inherently better than salad or something? I'm not sure about the comparison, but I think it was beautiful. I think it was chicken food or something. I don't even know where I was going with that, but I think it was good.
Listen, Sebby, even if they're just covering it up, I'm glad that they addressed it, because they could have easily just went with like, oh yeah, Jon Moxley's dead after the explosion, but they didn't. They made it into a thing,
right?
Or that's what was supposed to happen. Either way, I'm happy because they addressed it, and it's really cool. I love it so much how they made it seem, or how it actually is. I don't know what's real and what's not, and I think that's what we're supposed to feel like we're wrestling, Jack.
Yeah.
But who's your number 4?
Well, this ties in because my number 4 is Kenny Omega, because I think that, for his part in that match, he won that match. I didn't like the actual finish of the match where like the Good Brothers came in and cost Moxley. I was not a huge fan of that. I think it shouldn't have ended in like an interference finish. They should have fought to the death and a real actual finish should have happened. But you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. Omega won that match, and from what I hear on Dynamite, he claims that like that was his plan all along, to have the explosions be shitty. Which is kind of what I expected to happen when we saw that happen. And so I'm glad they're going with that. And so I have to put Kenny above Moxley, but only slightly. I would say they're about tied. But I'll put Kenny at number 4 because heel Omega, I think he was like my number 1 and number 2 last time we did this. And he's, I love the heel Omega character. I'm not, like, I've never been the biggest fan of Don Callis, but I liked him. I like him in this role. And, Kenny Omega, number 4. And, that's what I got to say about that.
I love Don Callis, and I loved him in New Japan, and I was so mad when he left New Japan because he's just the best. Yeah. And I'm glad to see him back. And let me ask you, has Kenny Omega dropped from number 1 to number 4 because he's gotten bad, or because other people have gotten really good?
It's both. Not that he's gotten bad, but it's that I've been less interested in him recently. It's nothing that he's doing wrong necessarily, but I guess it is mostly that other people have gotten better. I think that you'll see specifically with my number 1 and number 2, people who were not on my list last time, and then I think that should definitely pass Omega. But do you have a different number 4?
I do.
Okay.
My number 4 is Matt Riddle.
Interesting.
Matt Riddle.
All right.
Every time he comes on my TV, I get happy, and he puts a smile on my face because he says the funniest things ever. And he's United States champ, and it's real cool because he's almost doing the R-Truth type of thing, and like he's being like a funny character, but he's really good in the ring. Like when it comes time to fight, and of course he's Matt Riddle. When it comes time to really wrestle, he has some great matches. Whether it be a pay-per-view or whether it be Raw, he's been killing it. He's been absolutely killing it. Raw or just on our TVs in general every week is where he belongs. It's where he belongs, and I'm happy to see him every week, and he's great. He's so good. He's so amazing. He really gets to live out his like high gimmick, his like smoking weed gimmick. Like he's just high all the time. It's great.
Yeah, no, I do like that they're leaning into that for sure. I'm liking he's just objectively not that good of an actor, so I think his promo delivery could be better, but I guess because he's supposed to be a stoner, that's how it is. But I like
that's kind of how he is, though.
In real life, that's true.
He really is. I mean, I don't think he's that dumb, but like that's like the way he talks and stuff.
Yeah.
He's literally that guy.
That's true. The chat is not liking your pick, though. For the first time ever, Tomato Boy is ranked higher than Phil. Juice, it's not the first time ever. Not the first time ever. And Sebby says Riddle being a stoner doof is insufferable, but he's a great wrestler, so I still like him. Wow.
All right.
I do like Matt Riddle. I almost had him as an honorable mention. I didn't end up including him because I do think he can be a little wooden on the mic, but I do like it in the context. I like it in the context of that he's a stoner, right? So it works.
The nicknames,
right?
All that stuff. It's just great. It makes me happy every time. So he has to be up there.
Yeah. I wish he had the old design of the U.S. title. That's one thing I would change. Because the current design is terrible. But
I'm getting used to it though. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
Getting used to it.
My number 3, and this might shock you, because of the lowness of this person, and you might actually be very pissed off about this. But Phil, my number 3 is Randy Orton.
Okay.
So Randy Orton has been consistently both of our number 1s for a long time, for probably most of the history of since we've been doing top 5, since we've been doing the show. So I love Randy Orton, I still do, but he's just not been as prominently featured. And this is going back to the when the Fiend feud started, right, where every match he had was just a match, and he would get cost the match by the Fiend or some sort of Fiend thing. Not to say that the Fiend segments are not good. I like him being sick and poisoned and possessed or whatever deal, right? It's great. I do like the story, and I am actually mildly interested to see what happens with the Fiend next. But I just am sick of him losing matches the same way every time. Whether it's at Elimination Chamber, which we were very pissed off about, or whether it was against AJ Styles recently, against Edge recently, he just can't win. And I know it's because of the Fiend. It's the same thing every week, though.
Right. All right, that's fair. I mean, that's fair. That's interesting you said that. But my number 3 is the Young Bucks.
Oh my God.
The Young Bucks
have
been on a roll.
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't. They're the tag champions. What are you talking about?
No,
Young Bucks are the best team in the world, and everyone agrees with me in the chat. And everyone around the world agrees with me. They're the greatest tag team in the world, and they have been having great matches, whether it be Dynamite, whether it be Matt fighting Ray Phoenix, or an actual title match. It's all so good, so good. And they're with the Bullet Club, and the Bullet Club is kind of back, but they're not. I don't know what's going on there, but I see two sweets. I see two sweets happening, and that's what I want on my weekly television. I want two sweets. I want Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. I want the Good Brothers. I want the Bullet Club to get along. I don't want this divide that I'm sensing. But we're not here to talk about the division of the Bullet Club right now. We're here to talk about our top fives right now of March 11th.
Right.
2021, and Young Bucks are definitely number 3. They've been on a roll. They've been killing it. They're always killing it. I don't think they're ever not going to be on my top 5. They are perfect. That's all I got to say.
Phil, I don't know who these people. I don't know who Ray Phoenix is. I don't know who the Good Brothers are, but all these things you're saying don't make sense to me. The Young Bucks are terrible. In the chat, we're seeing people saying Super Kick Party, and I have not heard that term in years, and I never want to hear it again. I hate the Young Bucks, and this is well documented. I don't have to rehash it. I don't mind them as much recently. You know, I've said this. I don't mind them as much in the last few months and with AEW as I did before that. But yep. I can never be interested in them.
Super Kick Party. Yep.
From the chat, it's cute how out of touch with reality Jack is sometimes.
Right? It is. It really is.
It's
not really cute, but you know.
My number 2 is somebody who is much better than the Young Bucks, and it's funny because this is actually somebody who I know you have historically not liked as well. You said you come around on him, but this is a guy who I am very much rooting for each and every week, and always have been, but especially recently because he's been prominently featured, and that is Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, easily my number 2. I love the Roman Reigns feud. I love Daniel Bryan. And I actually really like his new t-shirt too. I'm thinking about buying that with the tree on it. And I thought the steel cage match was cool with Uso, and I just really cannot wait to see them fight.
I don't think Jack actually watches wrestling. I agree. Super Kick Party is outdated. I disagree. But Sebby says sort of like Jack's dated 2014 opinions on the Young Bucks wrestling style, which I do agree with. Jack's the only one in the world. Unfortunately, I know the one person that doesn't like the Young Bucks, and I have to do a podcast with him. It's not fun. This is the part of the job that I hate, but it is what it is. Now, my number 2 and my number 1. I'm sure you already know who they are.
I think I do.
It's hard to put one over the other.
Right.
Because I get it. I get what Randy Orton's doing. I understand the whole storyline. I get it all. His promos are great. Love his matches. Even though he loses, his matches are amazing. And I mean, he's Randy Orton, and I love him. Even though he caused me so much pain at the Elimination Chamber. And I'm just gonna go say my next one, my number 1. Who honestly, I don't know who's number 1. I don't know who's number 2. But we're lumping them into the same thing. So we're jumping from number 3, Jack, to my number 1, who is Randy Orton and Kenny Omega. Kenny Orton, Randy Omega, however you want to put it. They are collectively my number 1. I see your point about Randy Orton, how he's not featured as much, and he keeps losing this and that. But it's all part of the storyline. Now, I don't want to talk about Elimination Chamber. That was the worst thing I ever saw in my life. But Randy Orton's still been awesome. His promos have been great. He saw himself talking to himself.
Phil, you got to remind me what happened. What happened in Elimination Chamber? I totally. It was a couple weeks ago. I'm losing it.
Drew McIntyre won the Elimination Chamber. That's what happened.
Who did he beat?
But
who did he beat?
No, it doesn't matter. But Randy Orton's been great, and then Kenny Omega has been everything that I ever wanted. This is why Kenny Omega's my favorite wrestler, along with Chris Jericho, of course. This is why. And Randy Orton, of course. This is why. Because he is just perfect. He has amazing matches. He's great on the mic. He looks like $1 million, Jack. Mm-hmm. You see him with that title, with his nice clothes that he wears now.
It's true.
He looks great. And I loved him when he was teaming with Hangman Page. I loved him in New Japan, and I love him even more now. He's the perfect wrestler. There's no one better than Kenny Omega. That match at Revolution was so perfect. And even if the explosion was supposed to happen, or if it wasn't, either way, the way the storyline is, it's perfect. Everything is just perfect with Kenny Omega. There is zero flaws, and he's also a fellow curly-haired person. So automatically, he's in my top 5.
I mean,
so yeah.
I can't totally argue. You know, I had him on my list as well. I used to not like Kenny Omega very much, and I used to make fun of you for liking him, but I do like him. I understand it. From the chat, Phil doesn't want to say that Orton is second, but it's obvious he's the true second. And yeah, Phil, I know that you cannot make a decision for the life of you, and you have 3 number 1 all times that you just said. But, you know, it doesn't, you know, I can understand. I can understand. I think Randy Orton is a better number 2, but you know what? I have none of those people as my number 1. I don't know if you're even going to know who I'm going to say is my number 1.
I'm going to guess. Let me guess.
Yeah, guess.
Who would be his number 1 right now? Oh, my God. This is real hard because I honestly thought you'd have, like, Randy Orton. It's not Seth Rollins.
It's not Seth Rollins.
I wouldn't think you'd put Seth Rollins for the same reason you wouldn't put Edge, because he hasn't really been doing... He hasn't actually been having matches.
Yeah.
Who would be your number 1? You know, I really don't have a clue. I thought Daniel Bryan might have been that guy. Kevin Owens?
Kevin Owens hasn't really been on TV, has he?
Yeah, but I mean, he was doing the whole thing with Roman Reigns. That was pretty cool.
That's true. Phil, there's only one person who I am currently liking more than Daniel Bryan, and who I'm currently rooting for week in and week out, and currently more upset when he loses week in and week out. And this is maybe not somebody you'd ever expect. My number 1, Phil, is none other than The Miz. The Miz, Phil. And I have not loved The Miz so much in years. When I was a kid, I hated The Miz because I was buying into all the faces and heels, and I was like, he is the ideal, heel for when he cashed in on Randy Orton. I was so upset. I never wanted him to be champion. And he's cashed in again, and it was the most beautiful moment that saved a really bad pay-per-view, right?
That's true.
But then here's the thing, and this is what has really made him number 1 as opposed to just like on my list, is the fact that he lost that title and is consistently getting screwed. This is one of the few heels he can come out and everything he says, I'm literally saying to my screen, yes, you're correct, you're right. Yes, I was saying this watching Raw this week. He's coming out and he's like, I was not told I would have to defend my title twice in one night, right? I was told I have to defend it once. I did. I got counted out, sure, but like, hey, what do I got to do? And then they made me defend it again, right? He did get screwed. And I was literally saying to my TV watching this episode of Raw, yeah, you're correct, yes. No, it's true, yeah. And he got screwed. Bobby Lashley is terrible, and I don't want to see him with that title. And Phil, look, I understand people online are obsessed with the fact that Bobby Lashley's champion now. They loved it when it happened, right? And it is a big accomplishment. He's the 3rd black WWE champion, right? It's great. But The Miz, hot take, The Miz is the 3rd cool WWE champion. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not, like, I disagree with everything you say about Bobby Lashley, but everything you said about The Miz, I agree 100%. I mean, he's on my top 5. I mean, I could potentially bump Matt Riddle down to 5 and Miz at 4. I mean, this case that you've presented here is really, really convincing, and I'm like, wow, that's so true. I feel the same exact way about The Miz. I mean, I'm not going to mess with my list. Right. I'm not a good decision maker. Can't decide on 1 or 2. But, yeah, I agree 100%. The Miz is the best he's ever been.
Yeah.
His matches are great. His matches are amazing. And his promos, oh, boy. His promos are so great. I feel them. I feel them so much. I was doing the same thing like you, looking at my TV saying, yes. Yes.
Right.
You were screwed.
Yeah.
Twice in one night? What is this? This is crazy.
I was so upset when he lost to Bobby Lashley because it didn't seem like it was remotely necessary. He could still get it back. I kind of thought that he was going to get it back on Raw this week, and it was going to be like the Lashley win was going to be an example of, if somebody actually gets their hands on The Miz successfully, they'll probably destroy him. But most of the time he managed to get away, to run away, be a coward. I thought that was going to be the example. He was going to get it back through cheating means, and then we would know in the back of our mind that if somebody attacks The Miz and gets to The Miz and has a title match with him, they're probably going to destroy him. That could happen, But it didn't. He didn't get the title back. He could, I guess, still get it, but it pisses me off to no end because he had the Money in the Bank, which we never thought he was going to have 6 months ago or whatever. We never thought he was going to be Money in the Bank. and he got it. And then what? He cashes it in after a long build up to him cashing in. He holds it for like literally a week and a half. What is this? I don't understand. And he loses it to Bobby Lashley, who is one of the more uninteresting wrestlers in the main event scene. And Bobby Lashley will forever be an Intercontinental or U.S. champion to me. I'm not going to see him as WWE champion.
How?
I don't find him interesting. I think his matches can be very good. I like the Hurt Business a lot, but I'm not going to. I mean, first of all, I like the other 3 members of the Hurt Business better than I like Lashley. So I am not interested in him. And I would like The Miz to be champion again. And hopefully, maybe he will be. I kind of doubt it at this point. I think he's probably going to go into some feud with like Adam Pearce or some shit, probably. But yeah, I was very annoyed when that happened. I'm still annoyed about it. Every time I see Lashley with the title, I'm like, they screwed The Miz. They really screwed The Miz. And at this point, he has to be my number 1. And there's nothing else I can say about it.
Ace of Spades, Bobby Lashley is the most uninteresting. You need to get drug tested. I agree.
No.
I agree. It's very strange to me, but whatever. I mean, I really wanted The Miz to keep the title longer. Like, I really like Bobby Lashley as champion. But it would have been cool if he just cashed in and there was no involvement with Bobby Lashley. And he just had the title and he always found a way to get out of it. Because I don't know. It's real cool because he's not like the WWE champion that's like Drew McIntyre, like, I'm a beast, I'll fight everybody. Like, The Miz is like, he's almost cowardly, but he's like really smart.
Yeah.
And it's
exactly.
like, it's real interesting to have a WWE champion like that because, you don't usually have that. Usually it's like, like a freaking beast who's like so dominant. And I mean, I guess that's the way it's supposed to be. But with The Miz, it was just so different. And I don't know. I'm very happy Bobby Lashley champion. I like him a lot. But I really wish The Miz would have it right now. Imagine we get The Miz. I mean, what if The Miz wins it and then it's The Miz versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania? For the WWE title.
You're really holding out hope for that. It's not going to happen, Phil. There's not going to be any Randy Orton in the title picture. But I still do want to see it, though. But the last thing I'll say about this, too, is that I've seen people online predicting or hoping even that Brock Lesnar will return and that we will see some sort of either Lashley versus Lesnar, which sounds like a nightmare, like literally a cold sweat nightmare, or we will see Lashley versus McIntyre versus Lesnar in some way, which would be slightly better because they'd probably actually put on a match because Lesnar doesn't have to be in the ring the whole time. They'd probably actually throw each other through tables and shit. But I like that literally it's the worst case scenario.
No, it would be cool if it was Brock Lesnar from 2002,
right?
Who had matches, but Brock Lesnar now it's just like he's like Goldberg. He just like does a F5 and then whatever.
Yeah. Lesnar from 2015 would be cool in this position.
True, yeah. Even Lesnar 2012.
Right. Yeah. It's but people are actually like legitimately. I've seen people online hoping for this to happen. They're like, imagine this match. Well, I don't want to. No, I'm not going to.
Another thing I want to point out. Unrelated to WWE, but apparently whoever wins this match between Moose and Rich Swann is fighting Kenny Omega with both titles on the line.
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Impact World Title and AEW World Title.
I love that.
So, oh my God, can you imagine? I just want to see Kenny Omega with the AEW and TNA title. with the Good Brothers behind him with the TNA tag titles, and with the Young Bucks with the AEW tag titles. Oh my God, Bullet Club Takeover. This is all we ever wanted, and it's finally happening. This is real. This is no joke. This is all we ever wanted, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, like, FightGeist 1 year anniversary. It's beautiful like The Miz. It's just perfect. And I want to see it. And dude, there's no way Kenny Omega's gonna lose that.
There's no way
Kenny Omega's gonna lose that.
No, dude, Moose is gonna beat Kenny. He's gonna kick out the One Wing Angel and he's gonna hit him with an exploding bat and he's gonna win. So,
I want Rich Swann to win because that's our boy.
Right.
And imagine the main event: Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann.
Yeah.
Woo.
Right.
That would be great. But I gotta say, Moose has really been doing great. Like that match that the main event of I forgot what pay-per-view it was, the TNA one, where it was like the Good Brothers. Remember it was like the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega versus Moose, Swan, and dude from Motor City. Moose did amazing. Like I'm not gonna lie, I went into that match thinking like, oh man, Moose is probably gonna like be the worst part of the match.
Yeah.
But no.
He was though.
He did really good. He was able to hold his own with everyone in there. Like it's, I think he's really good. He should be on the top 5 list.
No. Okay, I cannot stand the Moose. The Moose is terrible. But the Moose.
I remember when I was working that TNA show at Melrose.
Yeah, quote unquote working. Yeah.
I was working. It was a lot of work, but whatever.
Lifting.
You weren't there. I think you were there.
Chair.
You were sitting down in the stands. You paid for a ticket like a mark when I was there working. All right, cool.
Yeah. Oh, you were working hard.
When I was walking around before the show, Moose was there, and I was like, and I mean, this is what they do. This is what people do. But he was just walking like dead serious, walking straight, like rehearsing like his promo, just talking to himself.
Oh my god.
And he just walked right by me, and I remember looking up at him. And I was like, wow, this is weird. He's just talking to himself. I just thought it was so weird. But I mean, that's what like actors and like whatever wrestlers do to memorize their lines and stuff.
That's
so weird.
It's so on brand for Moose himself too. And then he still doesn't really spit it out right. Like I remember being at a TNA taping. I might have been the same one where John Morrison they had to take a second take of a promo because he botched the line. 100% that happens with Moose every week. But
well, you know what? Speaking of John Morrison, at Melrose Ballroom, I had to use the bathroom. And John Morrison was cutting a promo in the bathroom for some reason.
What?
There was a whole camera crew. Like, he was there. Like, a bunch of people were there. And I had to use the bathroom. So I'm walking down the steps of Melrose. And I forget Rich Swan's tag partner.
Willie Mack.
Yeah. He held the door. He held the door open for me.
Oh.
And I saw Ace Austin. And I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Because, we know him from the other events.
Yeah.
And then I walk in there, and John Morrison's like cutting his promo, and then they have to stop it while I go to the bathroom. Literally.
Really?
Right next to the stalls, and I'm like, oh hey, what's up? And then I just go in the stall, and it's like everyone could hear me pee.
Right.
Flush. And they look at me as I open the stall, and like they're looking at me as I'm walking out.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, wow, that's so awkward.
Yeah.
But I had to go to the bathroom.
So you could have gotten your primetime moment. You could have just gone in there and just started pissing on John Morrison in the middle of a promo. Like, I mean,
I would never.
Never. Instead, you had to wait in awkward silence as they watched you go to the bathroom. That's wow, what a story. All right, Phil.
It was so strange.
Before we go, The Miz is my number 1, undisputed. But one other thing that we have to discuss just briefly. Okay, we have to go over this because the prediction game, right now I am leading in predictions. As I mentioned, it is 83 to 82. I am 1 point ahead of Phil after Elimination Chamber, after I correctly guessed Drew McIntyre to win the Chamber. And at this point, Phil, the next chapter of the prediction game, we're going to run through this fast, but what we have to do, last year we predicted the New Japan Cup, and we went through the whole bracket, and we scored points based on how many matches we got correct in the bracket. We don't have time to do that this time because the tournament's already started, right? So we can't predict the whole bracket at this point. But what we're going to do here to actually award points, we have come up with who we think is going to make it to the Final Four. Who's winning this New Japan Cup tournament, which I've been enjoying to some extent so far. And who are the final 3? And Phil, I got to know.
Oh, my God. It's hard to say. But I listen, I'm pretty sure we both are making wild picks here. I mean, it's just hard because a lot of like good people have been eliminated.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, like I really don't know what to expect. I mean, Naito getting beat by the Great O'Khan, I mean, that says it right there.
It does.
But okay, final 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go Evil.
Evil, okay.
I'm gonna have to. I feel like Kenta could really beat Minoru Suzuki.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I want to pick Suzuki though, but at the same time, would Kenta really lose?
I mean, think Kenta beats Suzuki, but I don't think he's gonna make it past. Well, I'll get to my picks, but I think that
I don't know. I don't think he'll make it past Evil, but
right.
Would he really lose to Suzuki? Because it's like Kenta is kind of like on a roll somewhat, and he's the younger guy, fresher. Then Minoru Suzuki's Minoru Suzuki. That one's very hard. I really want to say Suzuki versus Evil.
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna go Kenta. I think I'm gonna go Kenta and Evil.
Okay.
Other side bracket, I'm going Will Ospreay. Don't care about what anyone says. This is a straight emotional pick, like me picking Orton to win the Chamber, like me picking Darby Allin all the time.
Right.
Straight emotional pick.
Yeah.
And now for the last one. Who, Takahashi or Jay White?
Takahashi? Yujiro? Oh, you mean
Tanahashi.
Tanahashi. Okay, all right. So
Tanahashi or Jay White. It's hard. I think I'm gonna go Jay White though.
Jay White. Okay, Jay White.
I really want to see Tanahashi versus Will Ospreay, but I think it's gonna be Jay White, Ospreay, Evil, and Kenta.
And who is winning?
Who? I don't know.
Well, okay. Who's making it to the finals first of all out of those?
Oh my God. Okay, I'm still gonna go Will. I'm still gonna go Ospreay.
Oh my God. All right.
And then if it's Evil and Kenta, I could really see Evil, but Kenta and Ospreay would be the better match. I just said I wouldn't see Kenta beating Evil, but I'm going with my Bullet Club brother, and then I'm saying Kenta's beating Evil, Ospreay and Kenta in the main event.
Oh really? Who is winning between them?
That's where it's hard.
Yeah.
Now Kenta, I see a lot. I see a lot of good things happening for Kenta.
Okay.
But also Ospreay we can't forget about Ospreay.
Yeah. Let me just say who I have making it to my final four first.
It's hard.
And then we'll get to the winners.
You go.
So I have a pretty different list. I agree with Evil. I think Evil will make it to the semifinals. So we agree on that one, and there potentially could be no point awarded there. But I have Sonata advancing. I have Shingo advancing, and I think he makes it to the finals. I think he'll beat Evil, and he'll make it to the finals. So really? Shingo, Evil, Sonata, and you have you have Kenta, Ospreay, Evil, and White. But who is your winner?
Oh man, thinking about what I said about the Bullet Club, with Kenny Omega, everyone basically having these titles.
Yeah.
If Kenta won, it would be perfect, but is something really going to come from that? But Kenta did come to AEW.
Right.
So.
Oh, I see. You have a long game going here. Okay.
Yeah. It could be. Oh man, I really want to see Ospreay win though. That's the thing. So this is really hard for me.
Yeah.
I might have to go Kenta for the sake of Bullet Club, but I still want Ospreay to win. But is it really gonna be that deep? Is this Bullet Club stuff really gonna be that deep?
It could be.
It might be though. So I think I'm gonna go Kenta. Bullet Club all the way. I want Ospreay to win, though. Really, either one, I'm happy. Yeah, there we go.
Wow, okay, so Phil has Kenta winning, Ospreay making it to the finals, and then Evil and Jay White also making it to the semifinals. I have Shingo making it to the finals. I have Evil and Sonata being in the semifinals. My winner, Phil, and there's going to be 2 points on the line here, depending on what happens, is Jay White. I have Jay White winning. So
really,
I think that rematch with Ibushi is going to happen. It very well could not. I like your idea of Kenta. I do want to see that happen, potentially. But those are our picks. We disagree on 3. Well, I guess if Jay White wins, I'll get 2 points there. You'll also get a point. We both agree that Evil will be in there. And we disagree on a lot of the rest of it. The winner we disagree on. A lot of points on the line here, Phil. This is going to be very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And, you could get this back. You could be Mr. Predictions again. Could happen.
Yeah. Apparently people agree. I wasn't reading the chat, but I'm reading it now. And apparently people agree that Kenta's going to win. That's interesting.
I'm surprised by that, actually. But, Phil, it's been a long day. It has been a long episode. Well, it's been an episode. And it's been a long year, Phil, because we've predicted several pay-per-views. We've had several trivia showdowns. We've had arguments. We've had agreements. We've had callers. I don't know. We've had what? We've criticized and complimented the best and the worst of wrestling today and in the past, and we've done so much, Phil, over the last year. It's been 365 days. We've been FightGeist, and Phil, I gotta know, because I asked all these callers in the past, what is your favorite FightGeist memory?
I don't have one.
Really?
Nah, my
you don't have any?
Is leaving this show to go play golf. Come on.
Right. Yeah. Is that legitimately your favorite? The time you betrayed me?
Yeah, it felt really good to betray you. I'm a heel at heart,
right?
And I thought it was great. And we got a saying out of it. We got some, 360 Phil 365. Something came up, Daddy-O. So in the end, it was all good.
It's true.
See that? Yeah.
It's content, is what it is.
It's content, exactly. But also, I really like having Nasty Leroy on the show.
Yeah.
Those interviews that we did, those are very fun. Mikey Whipwreck, No Legs. I thought the interviews were really cool.
Absolutely. Mikey Whipwreck, who hates me now, apparently. Can't say it isn't justified, but Phil, my favorite memory in FightGeist history, and this is a, you know, it's maybe a gloating moment, but it's last week for me. I loved winning that tournament. I loved running through it, but more importantly, I loved seeing that bracket and that night unfold because there were a lot of great and terrible trivia answers. It was just fun to have everybody involved in one place and, you know, for me to destroy all of them. But I would say it's probably up there at least for my favorite FightGeist memory. But right now, Phil, I think this right here is up there on that list. One of my favorite FightGeist memories because we are celebrating a full year of this show, Phil. We are entering our second year of broadcasting, and it's huge. A lot of podcasts, they don't make it that far. A lot of podcasts, they give up. But we haven't. And, I mean, one day, we'll see how it plays out. If you skip out again to play golf, who knows what's going to happen. But, Phil, for the last year, for the last 365 days, through all the ups and downs, I have been Jack Peterson. I have been Ajax. I have been Mr. Trivia. I've been Mr. Predictions. I've been host of the year. I've been Sex Puck. I've been what? I've been Corona Guy. Remember that one? I've been Quarantine Man. And I've been joined every single week by you, the man across the internet.
Well, I've been the real host of the year. I've been the gem to this show. I've been the person that people come to see. You know, I've been that guy. I've been that man. You've been a rat bastard. As in the words of Nasty Leroy. Shout out to the bro. But of course, I'm Phil. I'm Prince Havoc. And Jack, I do want to point out the trivia was very fun. I say episode 25 was really fun when we had everybody on there. That was really crazy. Even though if you go back and watch it, it's just still photos. It's not really any type of motion picture because it was recorded on Jack's horrible Mac. But
keep plugging our YouTube.
It was still very fun. It was still very fun. But yeah, it's been a year. That's crazy. Time flies, and it's still Corona time. We thought it was going to last 2 weeks, but it didn't, so that's cool. But at least we got to meet Iron Sheik and Mankind today, so, you know, that's the highlight of actually, honestly, that's the highlight of FightGeist, meeting the Iron Sheik and Mankind. I don't think anything tops that. But Jack, cheers to another year. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, I hope this show ends before we get to that point because I really don't want to do this anymore. I hate Jack with everything in me. But you know, it's cool. Good times.
And Phil, why is it cool?
Oh, because we are the word I'm looking for. Geisty. I mean, no, because we're FightGeist.
The alternative wrestling podcast for 1 year. And, hopefully more than that, too, you know.
Right. I don't know. We'll see.